All right there. Hi, everybody. Thanks for all the engagement. Appreciate everything, all the questions. My goal is to leave a legacy by positively impacting others, hopefully the world. That is ultimately what I'm motivated by and my why. I was talking with someone in Instagram, and we were talking about basically interviewing, and he was talking about how he's preparing to go on for the interview, and was doing some research about the company. And I made the suggestion, well, did you go on LinkedIn and see who's already there, seeing if you can direct, email them and ask about the company. What do they like about the company? What was bad about the company? What was ugly about the company? Where they thought the opportunities were. You might even be able to find people that are in the position that you're actually looking to get hired in at, or you can even find people that don't work there anymore and ask their opinion. I think doing your homework only gives you a better opportunity to do really well in the interview. The other thing that I'd say is one of the telltale signs that you're interested in the company is you know a little bit about it. I'm not saying that you know the entire history of who started it. You don't need to be like an encyclopedia or going through a history book, but at least know who you're interviewing with. What are the products and services that they offer? What's the potential, the culture that's there? The beauty of Google, of LinkedIn, of Instagram, of Facebook is that you can find out a lot about different companies just based on what's online already about them. However, I don't know how many people I've interviewed with have not taken the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes to do a little bit of study time. Guess what? They don't come back for a second interview. If you don't know who you're sitting across from, I don't want you. I just don't, because I know that there's probably hundreds of other people that have just the same amount of drive that know a little bit about the company that we're about and what we're ultimately going to do. Plus, if you don't know ultimately who we stand for, how do you know if we even match for what you're looking for? So the more specific that you are in your pursuit of career and job, the more likely you are to have that next interview and potentially get the job. The other thing that I'd say that people don't take into account is having good questions. Typically at the end of the interview, they're going to say, so what questions do you have for us? One of my favorite questions that people will ask is, what's the next step in the interview process? If you didn't get a business card from, can I have a business card? I'd like to send you a thank you note. I also like if I have a leave behind. So very common to give out the piece of paper, resume, maybe even a referral sheet or a reference sheet. What I'd like to do as well, if I'm interviewing to a company, I want to basically show them why they want to hire me. So you can either do this in a couple ways. One, you could do it in a piece of paper and it says literally, hey, this is who I am. Maybe a one-pager kind of has some highlights of what you can actually deliver in the past, specifically for this new company, right? So if let's say I was a salesperson at pharmaceutical X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to medical device, I'd say, this is what I was able to deliver at X, Y, and Z company. This is what I want to do for you guys. This is my game plan to get it done. This is how I'm going to execute for you and drive that bottom line, bring in more revenue, and hopefully more profitability. And that's what you want to be able to showcase for them. So I'd actually have a leave behind. I knew back in the day, people used to have like tiny little mini CDs, and they'd leave that as a leave behind. The other thing that you want to be able to do, I don't know how many people I've interviewed, but I want to say probably only about 5% actually take the time to send me a handwritten thank you note to say, thanks for taking the time to interview me. You better believe after I've interviewed like 12 people for one position, that one person that sent me the handwritten note, as long as they didn't totally bumble it through the interview and become totally unprofessional, there's really good odds I'm going to have a second interview with that person. There's really good odds I'm going to take the time to go through and look at the references and call them and get a good view of what they're like. So that's the other thing that I'd say is, number one, be prepared to know the company, be prepared for potential interview questions. And number one thing when it comes to interview questions, you do have weaknesses. Don't make them into strengths like, oh, I care too much or I work too hard. That's just BS. We know you have weaknesses. We know you're going to be late. We know that you're not good at talking to people. We know that you have a short temper. We know that there's something wrong with you because there's something wrong with me, right? All of us are flawed. At the same time, you're probably awesome as well. So we're flossing. All right. And then last thing is make sure that you have some prepared questions to ask the interviewer. The moment that you can get them to start talking, there's really good odds that they're going to like you from a personality perspective because you're showing interest into them and the company. Best of luck to you as you interview. If you have any questions for me, feel free to shoot them. I'll try to give you an answer. Have a great day, everybody.